Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. First of all, thank you to each one of you for listening to our podcast last week and showing us your love by subscribing and sharing the content to the outside world. It means a lot to us, and we can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. So, all right, let me just do a quick recap of who we are and what we are doing. My name is Mrityunjayan, also known as MJ from RIVA Coaching, a coaching, training, and image consulting firm. We started a podcast series with an internationally certified life coach. Not only that, she is also accredited nationally and internationally for soft skill training and image consultation as well. To add to that, she recently got accredited with Agile Safe 6.0 SPC certification as well. I think learning does not have an end, and she is a great example to that. Join me in welcoming back Vani Surya Prakash to this podcast. Welcome back, Vani, and congratulations on your recent success with Safe SPC certification.
Very good day, all. Thank you. Thank you so much, MJ, for that. And I'm happy. And thank you again for acknowledging my recent certification and work. It's always a great pleasure to come and participate in this podcast. Thank you all.
Wonderful. So, just a recap to everyone, we are doing a series of podcasts on a topic which many might have in mind, but reluctant to talk about self-victimization. Last week, Vani gave us a gist of what is self-victimization and also a couple of tips, I guess, to come out of such thought process. Please type in comments in the comment sections, type in your way of coming out of such thought processes, and let us see the responses. Yeah, I have something to tell everyone here before we go into the discussion. I have request everyone to listen till the end because you are in for a surprise at the end of this podcast. So keep listening. So Vani, self-victimization, what have you gotten for us today? What are we going to talk about in self-victimization?
Yeah, MJ. So as I said, we wanted to do this as a series as part of self-victimization. And today's topic is going to be about self-victimization at work.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Self-victimization at work. Very, very interesting and a particularly on the spot topic.
Yeah. So what is self-victimization at work is something that I first wanted to actually talk about. And this is nothing but a mindset or behavior where individuals perceive themselves as victims of circumstance or unfair treatment within their professional environment. So self-victimization at work involves adopting a passive or helpless attitude, blaming external factors for challenges or setbacks, and feeling a lack of control over one's own outcomes. So that's self-victimization at work in a nutshell.
Oh, great. So you mean to say that if I blame someone for my failure at work, will that be self-victimization? I'm just asking. Yeah.
I mean, I was expecting this question, and the answer to it would be a yes and also a no. Because there might be instances where external factors may be the actual reason for the failure. So, but as I said, it's a probability. It is a yes as well as a no.
That's a good answer to the question. So let me ask you the next question. So how would I differentiate between self-victimization and external sources?
See, again, to put it precisely, everything is neutral until you give it a meaning. That's the mantra that I keep telling.
Wow, yeah.
So here, since we are on the topic of self-victimization at work, I would like to really carve out what are the key patterns or key aspects that you will have to look into yourself or somebody whom you are associated with in terms of identifying whether it is self-victimization or not. If I'll have to give jargons, these are the jargons. Maybe you will see some negative attitude. You will see people seeking for validation, resisting change, lack of initiative, and avoiding responsibility. So these are few patterns or characteristics or traits that you will see within yourself or in people who are self-victimizing themselves at work environment. But again, as I said, this is just for the sake of jargons. I really wanted to explain with a scenario so that it is relatable and people are able to understand.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So when I say self-victimization at work and whatever I said, assume, or you wouldn't, you would have come across such scenarios, some people talking about this. At times in my work environment, I've heard people talk a lot about not having the fun element. They'll keep complaining about all work, no fun. Uh, and they'll keep asking, okay, why not do this? When you ask for a feedback, when there is a early feedback, which happens for the organization, not for the individuals, though, people would say there is no fun, there is no outing, there is nothing taken care with respect to people wellness, etc., right?
Yeah, true.
However, when the organization or that department organizes something constructively, say, for example, they are doing a fun activity, monthly ones, there'll be a fun activity engaged on the flow, or they might plan for a quarterly outing event. When such things are coming out, these people, again, they'll start saying, okay, why are they doing this? I don't want to attend this fun element. HR just does this for the sake of doing it. Every quarter they do this, but what is the purpose? I don't want to go on the weekend. I don't want to go on this particular day. I don't want to go to this particular place. So you again hear complaints.
Okay.
So if you see, initially they started with the complaint mode, or they started telling that they don't have any fun, it's all about work, etc. However, when there was initiative taken, when there were opportunities, they still end up complaining or showing a negative attitude in terms of why they want to pick that up. So this is one of the traits or characteristics that you could look into.
Okay, got it.
Right? And the second thing, which is one of the most common, again, coming from the Indian community, I have been there, I've seen people, is seeking validation.
Yeah.
Okay. So people will be like, okay, I do this. Now I'll ask, okay, did I do it right? So they want that kind of validations. They call it as feedbacks, feed forwards. See, there is a huge difference between seeking validation, feedbacks, and feed forwards, right?
Oh, yeah.
When it is at a frequency, a set frequency, say every month you have a connect with your manager, or you have one level up, you have a skip level meeting, you are talking about what you did and you're seeking the feed forwards to improve or take it to the next level. Absolutely, those are feedbacks and feed forwards, right?
Yeah.
However, when you just type in two elements in the key, say you are typing A and S, and then you're asking, okay, have I done it right? Is this the way that I keep my finger? Is this the way that I type? That is about seeking validation. Hope you get the difference between what feedback, feed forward, or seeking validation is all about.
Yeah, completely.
And this, from the coaching perspective, I would say it's all about in the fixed mindset. They are not there in the growth mindset. Similar to a child, what does it do when it starts doing certain things? It seeks validation. It wants people to acknowledge then and there. It doesn't think about feedback. Feedbacks are too much for a child who is just a toddler or who is growing up, right? So these people are there in that mindset, fixed mindset, where they want validation, acknowledgement in every single step, every single minute of what they do. That is again a characteristics that you could find in terms of self-victimization at work.
Okay.
And that moves me to the third thing. I spoke about resisting change. So how is this resisting change? Again, I'm clubbing whatever I spoke so far from first and second. One is attitude issues. Second is validation. Why it is clubbed with the resisting of changes? See, people tend to be in their comfort zone. Now, when I want them to take the next level, I want, as an employer, I'm seeing that there is immense potential in this individual, and I want them to be taken to the next level. I'm more than happy, even if they're not going to continue, but I want to show them that their potential takes them to the next level or reach to the next level. However, as an individual, I don't want to do that. I feel that as too much burden. I feel that I am happy in my comfort zone. Did I ask you to move me to the next level? Have you seen such?
Yeah, it might sound ridiculous, but I have seen such kind of people.
Yeah. There are people who are like, very, very competitive, who always want what next, what next, what next. However, on the other end, there are people who, though they have potential, they don't want to move away from that comfort zone. So that again clubs it back, and there is a huge resistance for them in terms of taking that small change.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then this leads to lack of initiative, because see, again, I'll go back to a scenario example. People will not volunteer.
Okay. Yeah. Mm.
And they want people to call their name. Say in a group, a manager comes and say, okay, this is one of the things that we wanted to get it done, and who wants to do it? It's an open call. Now the manager has not pointed out anybody.
Mm-hmm.
However, these self-victimized people, they will be hesitant. They don't want to raise their hands just because they'll be waiting for the name to be called. Okay, I am experienced. I have that caliber. I have the potential. Now I want somebody. Why not you call yourself? That's what volunteering is all about.
Absolutely.
And they don't want to volunteer in the first phase. And now if somebody has volunteered, or if the manager has just like that called some random names, then these people again will get into the complaining mode, stating, you know what, this manager does not acknowledge my work. I am more experienced than her. I am more experienced than him. However, he did not call my name, and he only used their name. So this is again lack of initiativeness. Then comes to avoiding responsibilities. Now, how does it matter, Vani, in terms of lack of initiative and avoiding responsibility? Lack of initiative is that volunteeringness, and responsibility is, I don't want to do. I know that this is something that I'll have to do. As a team, we all have committed to do this. However, I just will say, okay, with all the other things that I spoke so far, I'll say, no, until and unless someone tells me, I'm not going to do it, or I have done my part. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to take that equal responsibility, assuming or understanding that this is a team effort.
I think that wraps up the avoiding responsibility. Yeah, I think the 5 points that you have given us for self-victimization at work, let me just recap. Negative attitude, correct me if I'm wrong. Negative attitude, seeking validation, resisting change, lack of initiative, and avoiding responsibility. Is that all that was discussed right now? Did I
Bang
get it
on.
right?
Bang on, MJ.
Great. Wow, that's really a great way to explain the effects of self-victimization at work with a scenario. Great work. Thank you so much, Vani. Listeners, I guess we now know what is self-victimization at work, but the next step is how to overcome this, or tips to address the scenario. For that, you need to tune into our podcast next week. Thank you so much, Vani. Thank you for once again for your great thought process with respect to self-victimization at work.
Thank you, MJ, and thank you all. Thank you all for listening this, and please do share your comments on what you are expecting more, and we are happy to answer them and take them.
Yeah, definitely. And I almost forgot about the great news at the end I just told at the beginning. So here it is. So register your details in our website at www.rivacoaching.com, and whoever registers within 24 hours of this podcast will get a coaching session from our certified life coach worth rupees 3,500, absolutely free of cost. So register within 24 hours, get yourself a session worth rupees 3,500 free. And the website is www.rivacoaching.com. So we have come to an end of the podcast today, and let me end with a quote. Take responsibility of your life and you will take control of your life. Thank you so much for listening, and you have a great week ahead. Cheers.
See you. Bye-bye.